The following program contains an all-you-can-eat philosophical buffet. If you suffer from mental indigestion, Randall may not be right for you. Check with your gastronomist.
Let the waves sweep over me of peace and love and joy. Wash away my bitter toils and fears. Cleanse me, heal me, soothe me, cure me by the stripes you bear. Caress me in your embrace, run your fingers through my hair. I believe in you. I believe in you. When my world falls apart, I believe in you. In the darkest hour of my heart, I believe in you.
Standing for truth in the four corners of America. Fighting for justice on the frontiers of the culture wars. And turning resistance into an art form. Randall Terry.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I've got to tell you this because this is big breaking news. The squirrels in Lafayette Park have abandoned Lafayette Park and moved right onto the White House grounds, and they are devouring the First Lady's garden. We cannot tolerate this. We cannot let it go on. And Miss World, Megan Young, has shocked the world with some of her statements. Oh, I'm loving this. Plus, we're going to talk about the NSA. We need them to watch over us. I love Big Brother. I will be good comrade, Big Brother. NSA, I trust you. I trust you with everything.
Great Scott! The US dollar has the same trajectory as the meteorite that fell in Russia. One of my graduate students asked me, "What is that trajectory?" And I said, "Down, you blistering idiot! Down! A meteorite falls down!"
Welcome to the program, friend. I think that Michelle Obama picked up the phone and said, "Barry, I want a conference call right now with me, you, and Harry." So it's Michelle, Harry, and Barry, Harry Reid, and she got him on the phone and said, "Look, do you understand what is going on? Do you understand what is happening with this government shutdown? Don't you see? Don't you feel? Don't you know the pain that Americans are going through? The squirrels have eaten my garden." Yes, I said that. The squirrels are eating up my garden. Tomatoes, peppers, all the stuff that I had, all those people planted, I got to look at from outside of my window, they're all gone. In case you missed the story, because of the government shutdown, with only essential people, all that they could do was water the garden. And if you've ever been to the White House, there are squirrels everywhere. And I'm not talking about the lobbyists, okay? There are squirrels everywhere. And then once the squirrels realized that there was no one in there fussing with the garden, they're not eating, picking the vegetables, they said, "Come on, guys, there's a feast. These are some whole foods." Like, I've been talking about Whole Foods in case you missed some of those shows. Anyway, so we're gonna this thing is going to end, right? You do understand that any day now, might even maybe today, maybe tomorrow, the government shutdown will end. What good has come from this? Well, maybe not much. Maybe a little of what's come from it is that people are at least focused on it. But here is my fear, and I'm going to say this. How do I say this in such a way that communicates hope, and communicates despair, hopelessness, at the same time? Let's start with the despair, hopelessness. I have no hope that our government is going to turn our fiscal ship around. None. I just think that we're in for disaster. We're already getting disaster on the installment plan, okay? Go to the grocery store and see how much the dollar has collapsed, how little buying power you have today compared to a year or 3 or 5 years ago. Look at what a gallon of gas costs. Look at what a pound of breakfast sausage costs, okay? A pound of bacon, a loaf of bread. It's because of the criminal, irresponsible, immoral spending and taxing of the president and both houses of Congress. So if anything good has come from this, all right, let's move from the hopelessness. I don't have any hope that they're going to turn around. Is that the hope would be that a few people are starting to get it. Just starting to get it. So let's say that your family is in financial crisis, all right? And your credit card debt is huge. Car payments, furniture payments, house payment, and somebody loses a job or somebody gets a demotion or there's less of a cash flow. And then either the husband or the wife together, they say, oh my goodness, these numbers don't add up. We're going to have a crisis. We're going to lose everything, okay? Including the house. Then they say, we're going to make some hard decisions here. We're going to make some hard decisions as a family. We're going to let the furniture go. They're going to repossess our furniture. We're going to let one of the cars go and buy a second car if we need it that's going to be a used, 100,000 miler. Maybe we're going to just say to a couple of our credit card companies, we can't pay you. Go ahead and turn them off, and we'll start one of those slow pay programs that are out there. And we're doing this so that we don't lose our home. And we're doing this so that we're not literally forced to go rent an apartment somewhere. In other words, hard decisions are made. But you salvage the home and you keep one of the cars. Something has to be done. We're headed for economic collapse. Like that family who overspent, over-leveraged, over-borrowed. Collapse is coming. Difficult times are coming. The only question becomes, how do we navigate those rough waters? On our terms or on the terms of someone else? So will these rough waters be navigated by the House and by contracted spending where we reduce the socialist plantation, or will it be with hyperinflation and the Chinese and the Saudis and the Iranians and the Russians deciding the fate of the dollar? Because one is going to be a lot more painful than the other. The problem is I don't think that our elected officials, and I don't think that the average American yet, has the will to say, we're going to have to let the furniture go. We're going to have to not eat out dinner anymore. We're going to have to cook our own food. So, God help us. Despair and hope. Every day in America, over 3,500 babies are torn apart by abortion. Shouldn't all babies, like this living, unborn child, have the right to life? Baby killing will only end when Americans see the truth of what abortion does to innocent children. You can help end this Holocaust by showing the truth of abortion in your area with a Face the Truth tour. Go to facethetruthamerica.com to set up a Face the Truth tour in your area. The babies and their mothers will be eternally grateful. How would you like to be able to reach hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions of potential customers with your product or your company or your web-based business? Well, you can do that right here on this show. Every single day, we get phone calls or letters or orders online from states all over the country where people are watching this television show. Right now, we are seen in 45 cities at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time every night, and then a rerun again at 12:30 midnight. You can reach them using this show at advertising rates that are so inexpensive, it would blow your mind. So, if you're interested, contact us at the phone number that you see on the screen or the email address, and we can talk about how you can grow your business and help support this show. Welcome back to the program, friend. Have you heard about her? Have you seen pictures of her? Megan Young. Now, I admit to you that I have never watched a Miss World beauty pageant. Megan Young, who was Miss Philippines, is also now Miss World. Why are we talking about that on this program? Well, a couple reasons. One is the courage she displayed and the rudeness that was and probably will be shown to her. In case you missed this story, I have to talk about it for a couple of minutes because it's worthwhile. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is doing what is right in spite of your fears. And there are people, sometimes you and me included, who know what the right thing to do is, or know what the right thing to say would be. But because we fear the fallout to our job, our friendships, our sports team that we're on, some association we have, whatever. We don't want to pick a fight with our wife, with our in-laws, with our parents, with somebody who we want to leave us in their will. For fear, we don't say the right thing or don't do the right thing. Well, Miss World, Megan Young, caught our attention because she recently did an interview, I think it was in August, with a news channel in the Philippines. And she said, and I quote, "I'm pro-life. And if it means killing someone that is already here, then I'm against that, of course." And she is talking about abortion, by the way, in case you wondered. And she also said that she was against contraception. I love that. God bless her. She said flat out, "I'm against abortion." And then when she was asked on her opinion about contraception, she says, "I don't do anything that would require it." She's single. And she said, and I quote, "I don't engage in stuff like that as of now. I think sex is for marriage. That's my belief." So she had the courage to say that she was pro-life. She's like a female Tim Tebow, somebody making headlines because they're saying, look, I believe that sex is for marriage, and I am saving myself for marriage. She had courage. She had the courage to enrage much of the liberal world by using her platform to speak against the killing of babies. There are a lot of people in Hollywood. There are a lot of people who've got a platform, and they're pro-life. They're against the killing of babies. Maybe you're pro-life and against killing babies. What do you say? Oftentimes we don't say and do things because of the cost, right? It's the cost that makes us afraid to do or to say. She's got something to lose. She's already an actress. Maybe she'll never get to be the film director that she's studying to be. She wants to be a film director. She's in school right now to make films. Maybe some of the big studios will never, ever give her a chance because she had the nerve to say that she's against murdering babies. But maybe on the day of judgment, things will go better for her. "Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Enter into the joy of your Lord." She spoke up for the babies, had the guts. The other thing that I wanted to point out, and this is just horrible, when she said that she's not having sex, she doesn't need contraception, this is what the interviewer said. Basically, the clip that I got from the news plucked out the phrases, and he said, "How could someone who is a woman as gorgeous as you, say no to sex?" And she said, and I quote, "You just say no. That's it. I mean, if they try to push you, then you step away because you know that person doesn't value you, doesn't value the relationship as much. And if the guy is willing to, sacrifice that, then that means a lot." In other words, the interviewer was objectifying her. You're an object. You're so beautiful that your purpose must be to provide sexual pleasure for yourself and someone else. It's called objectification. And she said, "No, I'm not an object. And if a person is trying to pressure me, then I step away because they don't value me." You got to love a woman. You got to love this young woman who had the guts to say this. And I pray, I hope that those words reach a lot of young people. God save us from the debauched spirit that exists in this world. I'll be right back with more news. Thank you, Miss World, for your courage. Do you want to have knowledge, wisdom, discernment? If so, you have to read good books on theology, history, books that look at the lives of great men and women. So to help you to become a more effective Christian, a better witness for truth, somebody who can engage in productive conversation that exhorts and edifies those that you speak with, we're going to do something crazy. We're offering you these 7 books for a gift of any size. You just pay for the shipping and handling, and then give whatever gift that you can, and we will send them to you. But just to make it a little bit more crazy, I will send you a second copy of my 3 books, autographed. You can give them as a gift to your pastor or to a family member and help extend truth and justice in the world. This is while supplies last. Welcome back to the program, friend. Did you hear the story about the Nebraska school principal who kept kids day after day after day from reciting the Pledge of Allegiance to remind them of the government shutdown? In other words, if the socialist plantation is not in full operation, we will not salute the flag. I mean, how crazy is that? Really and truly. I'm not making this up. And he thought that it was a positive step. Friends, I feel more inspired to pledge allegiance to the flag while an itty-bitty portion of the government is closed down, because at least somebody up there had the guts to stand against the atrocities of making us all slaves. All right, speaking of slaves, did you hear about, is it Nabisco? Yeah, Nabisco, Ritz, Chips Ahoy. They want to put surveillance cameras in grocery stores to watch people buy cookies. Are you hearing me? So they want to mount these cameras, whether they're on the shelves, whether they're in the ceiling, but they're already talking with grocery stores to install cameras so that they can watch people buy their food. They want to see their age. They want to see their gender. Probably want to see what they pick up and read the label and put back down. Okay? You know what I think? I think most people don't care anymore. I think we have been so degraded in our own minds that we are the knaves and the lackeys of the big government and the big business that is making so many decisions for so many people and is trampling our rights, trampling our Constitution, trampling our privacy, that most people are just going to say, oh, hi, I went with the Chips Ahoy because they're a little softer than the ones from Nabisco. If you guys would use, and Nabisco would use a little bit more of that corn syrup, that high fructose, I don't know how to say it, something about fruity corn syrup, I'd go more with that because my kids like the gooey ones better. Send coupons to P.O. Box 910. You know what I think would be fun? Can I say this on the air? I think it would be fun if they put them at eye level or put them on the tops of the shelves and some angry moms looked at the camera, grabbed it and said, "You want a piece of me?" Broke it, snapped it, then took it over to another camera and stomped on the first camera, and then broke that one off and went to the next camera. Take this here camera and do a lobotomy on yourself. All right, I've gone over the edge. This kind of stuff breaks my heart, makes me angry. I'm not kidding you. Don't buy Nabisco products. You know what? That's what we'll do. We'll start a boycott. We'll find out who the companies are that want to install cameras, and we're going to call for a boycott of those companies. Mark my words. Watch for more on this. I know how to lead protests. When we come back from this break, we will talk about the NSA. They are collecting millions and millions of email addresses, books worldwide. They just want to recruit people to become a part of the security apparatus. Do you want to get America out of the hands of wicked and unjust men and women who are destroying the republic before our eyes, and put leadership back into the hands of righteous men and women so that we don't die as a nation? Well, you're talking about social revolution, and there are rules in social revolution. We can look at the victorious social revolutions of the past, such as the end of slavery, the end of child labor, women's voting rights, the end of segregation, and so much more, and learn from their victories. Look at their actions, their images, their rhetoric, their sacrifices, and their final fruit. We will send you this series that originally cost $129, 7 books for students, 1 teacher's guide, if you'll give a gift of any size and just pay for shipping and handling. Take advantage of it today. Welcome back to the program, friend. The press is reporting that right now the NSA, the National Security Agency, is harvesting approximately 500,000, all right, 500,000 email, chat, buddy lists every day. Every day. The Washington Post recently reported that on one day, the NSA, their special source operations, collected 444,000 address books from Yahoo, 105,000 from Hotmail, 82,000 from Facebook, 33,000 from Gmail, and 22,000 from other providers. They're doing that every day. And they're moving that program offshore. We just saw another press report say they're moving it offshore so that they can avoid the scrutiny of U.S. law. Now they're saying that they're just doing it to find bad guys, and this one is primarily focused on foreign intelligence. But they also then go on to say, yeah, we're scooping up a lot of American stuff too, because there's a contact in a foreign person's account, which brings us to the American person's account, and then they end up harvesting the American person's account. We're talking 250 million a year at this pace. Let me read to you the Third and Fourth and a portion of the Fifth Amendment to the Bill of Rights. Third Amendment says, no soldier shall, in time of peace, be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in a time of war, but in a manner to be prescribed by law. I think there's a pretty good argument here that we've got spies, government spies, quartered in our house right now. Amendment 4, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects. Okay? The right of a person to be secure, their papers, their effects, against unreasonable searches and seizures. They're being searched and seized right now, every day, millions of people, except in cases, shall not be violated, period. And no warrants shall issue, but upon probable cause. Okay? And they have to describe with the warrant, particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Read it for yourself. It couldn't be any clearer. What they are doing is a violation of our Fourth Amendment rights granted under the U.S. Constitution. They're seizing it all, pell-mell. Fifth Amendment says that a person cannot be deprived of life, liberty, or property without the due process of law. Well, your intellectual property, your liberty, in your email lists, it's being seized. It's being taken. There's no due process of law. Do you remember participating in any vote with anyone that allowed the government to steal all this stuff? Friend, you need to hear this. Our government is becoming the bad guy, the villain in the story, and we're all becoming victims.
you.